Oh, damn. What's going on, folks? Hope everyone is having a good night. Look where I am. On the ground, representing Detroit. Let's see if we can get some people to hop on here. I'm in the process of doing a PanHard Bar by Maximum Motorsports. So just wanted to share where I'm at, you know, how difficult it is, how the instructions are, and everything so far. So I'm just gonna hang tight just for a second, see if we get some more people on. Hope everyone is having a good night. Rock and roll, rock and roll. As you can see, I have both sides have the tires off. The instructions has you do, you know, a bunch of measurements prior. You know, it's important that you have the car level, you know, the measurements of, you know, the rear end and the body. You want to have everything smooth, if you know what I mean. So take your time when doing this and when doing anything. They say you can use a string and a bob. You know, tape measure will work great too, or both. Just take your time doing it. So yeah, here I am. Tire is off. Also, the shock is coming out. So I got the bottom of the shock bolts out. So how you want to start, basically get your car up in the air, get it nice and level. You know, put some support jacks if you don't have a lift. You know, most of the guys out there don't have lifts. If you're lucky enough to have one, God bless you. That's in my plans. But right now, inside in the garage with some jack stands. So you want to make sure you have enough support and safety support. That's very, very important. So yeah, get your car flat up in the air, and then you're obviously going to place your jack underneath the rear end to take the load off of the rear end and off of the spring as well, so you can take the bolt off. Once you get the bottom bolt off, you're going to take the top bolts off so you can take the shock out. So when you put in that PanHard bar, you're going to end up drilling right in here into the frame, 2 holes right into the frame, and that's going to hold the PanHard bar up top on both sides. So it does require some drilling. So once you got this out of the way, I'm almost there. I left it in there just hanging for now because I just took out my rear springs. I'm running BMR springs. So if anyone's looking to sponsor me and wants to give me some coilovers, wink, wink. You know what to do. But yeah, so I'm running BMR front and back. They're great springs. The ride's nice. I will be, you know, eventually upgrading the suspension, but for now, these are brand new KYB shocks. So nothing crazy. I do have Maximum Motorsport rear control arms in there. And those are nice. Definitely tightens up the suspension and gives you control as well, even with the quad shock removed. Not to get off topic, but I kind of did. So once you have your spring removed, as you can see I have mine, and then I got the shock out as well, you can get ready to install the very first piece, which is this right here. So this is going to be your new shock carrier. So your shock is going to go right in there. And then this part right here, that's going to go right and bolt up to where your control arm is. So that'll be the new carrier. And that'll, in this part here, the front, that's going to be where the actual PanHard bar one end goes into, then the other end goes on the other side. And that will allow you to adjust the center point of your rear end on your car. You know, that's a very important thing. So they do recommend, once you have the PanHard bar in and it's ready to go, I'm sorry, not the crossbar, but the actual black part of the PanHard bar into the car, they suggest you take it for a ride, let the car settle, and then put in your silver PanHard bar and then make the adjustments afterwards. because they had said that a lot of times people have installed it and welded it in, and then you kind of, you know what, SOL, shit out of luck. So that's the recommended with the instructions and stuff like that. So a very important thing too, when after you've jacked it up and you've unbolted your shock, be very, very careful when you're lowering your rear end. You do not want to break your rear brake cable that sits right above your rear end. You can see it there. Be very, very careful. You don't want to lower your rear end too low and then, break that cable or cause like a stress crack on it or anything like that. So make sure when you let it down, you go nice and easy. Get to the point where you feel the springs wiggle a little bit, and then just take them out nice and easy. Another important thing too when you're doing it is to mark the orientation of your spring. To me that's pretty important because, turning your spring, it does allow it to sit differently. You can mark it with a tire crayon. Also, I have little rubber stops on the bottom of my control arm, so I actually have grooves already, so it'll sit back in place pretty nice. So, but if you don't have grooves, I recommend take a little tire crayon, mark it, so when you put your spring back, you're putting it, in the same spot. You have no hiccups, no issues. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm about to install this part, the carrier part, and then we'll get working on the next steps, drilling the holes, making sure everything's aligned, more measurements, and more measurements, and then we'll get there. So this is kind of like part one, as I promised. And we'll be doing a video on the pinion seal too. That's a common thing that leaks on the rear end, so I'll be doing a video on that as well too. So yeah, we're moving along here, and if you guys have any questions or anything, feel free to shoot me a message in the DM. I'm glad to answer any questions, or if you guys have any recommendations. I'm not going with a different company, so don't try that. Sticking with they're a great company. And I haven't had this in any of my Mustangs before, but everyone that does have it, friends of mine, they love it. Even the torque arm as well. They make great products. So we're going to run with it, and we're going to get this baby nice and tight for September when she gets on the track, and we'll have a lot of fun with it. Lastly, when you're getting ready to start taking things apart, I highly recommend that you do take the black portion of the PanHard bar and do a test fit. So take the bar, put it in there, because with the issue that you may run into is it may not fit. It's a very rare issue, but that will be determined by your exhaust setup. So if you have a custom exhaust that does not follow Ford factory that pattern, or if you have 3-inch pipes as well, you may run into a pickle. So do yourself a favor, save yourself some time, take the black portion of the PanHard bar and put it in there. Make sure you can get it up in there with the exhaust and all that stuff in there before you start tearing shit apart. You know what I'm saying? So do yourself that favor. The black part I'm talking about, I'll show you. Hold on one second. Okie dokie is this big giant piece right here. So that's I call the big black part. That's what she said. So that's the part I'm talking about. Test fit this in the car first before you go buck wild. So I did. It fits. I have a regular Flowmaster 40 exhaust. Nothing crazy. That original sound. So it went up there nice. Had to give it a little what do you want to call it? negotiate with it a little bit to get it in there, but once it fits pretty good, so I'm excited about that. It was nice and easy to put up in there, so that's just gonna make, once I drill the holes, getting the bolts and the spacers in that much easier. So yeah, so here we are. That's kind of all I got for right now, but hang tight. I'm gonna post a picture later to show you how I put the bar in, just to check the orientation of it, so you can kind of see how it looks. So yeah, hang tight. Any questions, you know what to do, and I'll talk to you guys later.